Greetings, CBC. Welcome to this week's Sunday warm-up. Grab some paper, grab something to write these notes down. I got a number of scriptures kind of nicely this week. They're all going to be in the book of Revelation. But a bunch of references I want to give to you in just one moment. Let me just remind you quickly. Well, if you haven't signed up for the email list to get weekly updates, you'll get a Thursday update and a Sunday update, as well as various things that happen throughout the year. But every week you get a Thursday update that's got events that are happening, things that are going on. You'll get the sermon notes ahead of time. This video here, I think it's put on that email as well. And then every Sunday morning you get, again, announcements, updates, things that are happening, the sermon notes for that day, a worship link. So a lot of great information that comes out on that. I'm not going to take time right now to review any of the things that are coming up, but just to note that we have lots of things coming up. If you're not on the email list, as I always recommend, come in every Sunday morning, take a look in the foyer, grab a cup of coffee and look around at the bulletin boards, the tables there, the sign-up sheets, see what's happening, and grab a set of those sermon notes. If you don't have a Bible, there's a bunch of Bibles sitting on the table there. Those are to be taken. The blue cover Bible, that's the one that I'm using so that I can call out the page numbers if that would be helpful for you to follow along. All right, this week what we're going to do is almost kind of a second part of what we did last week. A little different than how I would normally approach a sermon. It's kind of topical within the book. So we are looking at the book of Revelation still, but we're looking at topics, themes that we saw as we were looking at the letters, those 7 weeks from Revelation 2 and 3. It hit me of all the descriptions of Christ. And so I wanted to spend last week just walking through all of those and just reminding ourselves of who Jesus Christ as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords is. We used Revelation 19 as kind of a springboard then to go into those other sections that we looked at. Something similar this week, because as we were studying the letters, a number of things kept being told to us, pointed out to us, reminded to us of who the dark side, if you will, the side of the dragon, Satan, the beast. And so I want to use Revelation chapter 18 this week as a springboard again to look at a number of places that we have seen either on Sunday morning or in the Wednesday night workshops. So Revelation 18 will be the starting point. But we're going to use that again to look topically at, and I'm going to put it as the first heading of the descriptions of the dragon. The descriptions of the dragon. So again, Revelation 18, the descriptions of the dragon, and I'm pulling Revelation 12 verse 9 as the kind of the main verse there of that point. So Revelation 12:9 says, "The great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent, who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him." So what we're going to look at there, and that's going to be a big part of the message on Sunday, is what are the descriptions of the dragon that we see. So Revelation 12 verse 9, well, let me back up. This will be better to put it in order this way. This is the sections you could look at if you want to bullet point all the descriptions we see of the dragon. Take a look at the letters again in Revelation 2 to 3. Look at Revelation chapter 12, Revelation 13, Revelation 17, and Revelation 18. Those are all chapters. Revelation chapters 2, 3, 12, 13, 17, and 18. Now there are certainly other places within the book of Revelation that we could take a look at, but that's still quite a bit for us to take a look at. And what I have done, and you'll get a copy of this on Sunday, is I have gone through those 6 chapters, and I have bullet pointed everything that we see there. And you'll get a copy. It'll actually be on the back of the sermon. You get a 2-pager this week, or front and back this week. So you'll get all those bullet points. I would encourage you, in preparation for Sunday, make your own list of those bullet point things and just begin to list everything that we see as the descriptions of the dragon, of who Satan is, of what are the ways of Satan. And then after we just bullet point, we'll pretty quickly just walk through everything that we see there. We will summarize. I've summarized, at least at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 common themes, common phrases, common words that continue to come up in all of those chapters about the descriptions of the dragon. So we want to look at those common themes. Again, not to be afraid, but to be alerted to have our ears in tune, to be listening for, to be looking out for the ways of the dragon and the ways of the beast. And so we want to be aware of that. And then we're going to take a look back at Revelation 18 verse 4. For me, this is another one of the big theme, message, call or challenge of the book of Revelation. Revelation 18 verse 4, which essentially says, come out of Babylon, come out away from the ways of the dragon, and do not walk in her ways anymore. And so we'll talk about what that is calling us to, but then we'll end with practically, how do we do that? Okay, how do we do that? And again, we're just going to walk through what we have seen. Much of this we've already seen. It'll be somewhat, I hope, of a review of how we are called to walk away from and out of the ways of Satan, Babylon, the world. What does the book of Revelation tell us? And so let me give you a few passages to take a look at there. There'll be a number of bullet points and some of the themes, but let me just give you a few references that will be helpful in preparation on how do we do that. Revelation chapter 14, 1-7. That'll be the big one that we'll look at. Lots of bullet points out of those 7 verses. Revelation 14, 1-7. And let me offer for us these 3 verses. Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. That's the one we're going to end on. That's powerful. Revelation 12, verse 11. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. And Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. Let me give you the final question. I'll give maybe the little more condensed question. And hopefully, if you know the song, know the older song, you'll know where I'm going. It's going to connect with Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. That'll be the final verse that we look at on Sunday. I'm going to ask a question, and then we're going to praise out a song together before we go. And then the final question I would ask is, and I'll ask it now to end this video: Are we washed? Are we washed? Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. The key for the call and the challenge to come out of Babylon. God bless you. Prayers for us as we prepare and study, prepare our hearts and our minds again to come listening to what the Spirit has to say to the churches. Man, did I enjoy our time in Revelation 19 and looking at the descriptions of Christ, the Lamb of God, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And I am looking forward very much to being in worship together this week with us again in the book of Revelation. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you Sunday.